Coach, we talked to you in the fall, and you were excited with how things have progressed even at that point.
Yeah.
What's your excitement level right now with the season right in front of you?
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of crazy that we're here already. I feel like I was just moving in June and get these guys back in late August, and we're sitting 3 weeks away from opening day now. So it's kind of crazy that we're here, but it's a good group, man. Like it is. I think the biggest attribute that these guys have outside of their talent is, man, they really like to compete. That's the one thing I really learned about them in the fall. Like when you put them in a competitive environment, whether it's against each other, whether it's against themselves, or whether it's against somebody else, man, they love it. And that's a good place to start. We got to get better. We got to figure some things out. We got to keep growing as a group. And I can tell you, February 16th, we're not going to be a finished product as a group like no team in college baseball is. But, man, they have some of those intangibles that we really look for. And I think the DNA of these kids is pretty special. So good day to kick off the spring season officially today. So excited to get out there and go get after it a little bit.
What can you accomplish with a good day like today? It's not, obviously, it's a long season, right? But what are some of the things you want to see out there today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about today is it's one of the first times we get to kind of get in a game-like situation. We got back a couple weeks ago and have been doing individuals for the last few weeks, which is good, but it's a lot of BP. It's a lot of machine work. It's a lot of pitchers in the pen, throwing pins and doing that different stuff. Today's one of the first days where you're going to get out there and it's going to be live baseball. We're going to get at-bats, we're going to get game at-bats, we're going to get game defense, we're going to get the heart rate kicked up a little bit with those guys on the mound. It's a lot different when you're throwing in a pen or standing in a batting cage than it is kind of in live action. So we're going to have to obviously you're not replicating opening day today, but it's an opportunity for us to go out and compete, and an opportunity for us to get some at-bats, get some reads, and like I said, anytime we flip that scoreboard on, there's a winner and a loser. So I want them to get out there and be competitive today.
And if the players, if you guys can touch on that, what today can mean for you guys to get going on that track?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not every time you can get outside, so we love to go and compete and do as much as we can to get live reps in. It's important for outfielders, infielders to see live balls off the bat, and also for pitchers and hitters to be able to compete against each other. We got a lot of great competition, so we can really compete against each other and really better ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, as a pitcher, it's a lot different going in the bullpen versus live game reps. So I'm excited to see what our pitchers do today. Against live hitting and see what the defense looks like. And, the whole fall we kind of played against each other. And he spoke on the competitive nature of the team. And now I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing the team come together a little bit.
Might be too early to tell, but do you guys have a sense of the identity that your open team will have this season?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 pillars we hang our hats on all the time that we talk about. Ownership, toughness, and grit. Those are the 3 things it's on the practice plan every day. It's posted all over. We talk about that stuff every day, and that's kind of what we want to hang our hat on, because you're going to have days as a pitcher you go out there and have your stuff, and it's easy. You're going to go out there as a hitter and you're going to look like you're seeing beach balls, and those are great. Those days are fun, but those days are also few and far in between. What's gonna be really the determining factor with this group is, number one, is how can we show up when we don't feel 100%. When our stuff's not great. One thing I've said a lot is what I think competing is. The definition of competing for me is believing what you have that day is good enough. Whatever I got today is better than what you've got today, and I believe that to my core. So that's where it starts. And then the second thing is, this is the SEC. It's how much you can take a punch. That's the reality. The best teams I've ever coached, I think, my last 2 teams at Maryland had this. That we could take a punch. We could have a tough game. We could have a tough weekend, and it didn't kind of knock you off the rails. You just showed back up the next day. You evaluated where you needed to get better at as a professional, and you showed back up the next day and went to work with a lot of belief that you were prepared to go out and win. And I think this team has shown me that at times, but those are some areas we got to keep growing. That's got to be who we are and what we do. And if we hang our hat on those 3 pillars and can show up at the heavyweight matchups and take a punch, we got a chance to be okay.
It seems like a natural thing in the course of baseball, right? Just with so many games to play, but how do you coach that or instill that?
Yeah, I think you just got to bring awareness to those situations whenever they happen. I think we every day show up and we talk about being professional in the way we go about our business, and we talk about a neutral mindset is something I've talked a lot about, is just going to the facts. If we go get strummed 19-1, I think, number one, how myself and the other coaches respond really matters. If we start freaking out and getting emotional and becoming somebody different than who we are, that's going to bleed off to these guys. They're going to feel that. They're going to feel nervousness. They're going to feel uncertainty. I think if we go out and you just sit there after the game or after the practice, you say, guys, this is what championship level baseball looks like, and this is what we did today. We didn't deserve to win today, and this is why. This is where we got to get better. This is where we got to grow. Now let's come out tomorrow. That stuff's behind us. That stuff no longer matters. Let's step out there and be the best version of who we can be today. And I think talking about that, but I think more than anything talking about it, it's just, I think they take on, their players really take on the personality of your coaching staff. And Mo's about as cool under pressure as it gets. Pap's the same way. JJ's been there in the big spot. He led this team through some big time stuff last year, and I watched him. That dude didn't ride the wave. He didn't flinch. He just showed up and did his job at an elite level. So I think it starts with us and how we respond to the good and to the bad. And I've seen that kind of filter down through your team and how they respond to those things too.
Speaking of the 3 pillars, that's you, right, with it on your jersey. So what does it mean to you to have that tangible representation on the field every day?
Absolutely. I mean, it's an extreme honor. There's been a lot of great players who have worn the number 3, and I'm extremely excited to be able to keep that tradition going. But I think as a whole, it's something we all strive for. And every day we compete a lot, and I think that's one thing that really is important, because it's no matter what we're doing, we're going to try to win. It doesn't matter who you're up against, if it's your teammate, your roommate. We all just want to beat each other. And I think that is very important for creating a good culture, a winning culture, and be able to then take it to a challenging schedule and be able to move on with that.
Ben, he's one of the new faces. What has he brought to this clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean, all the new guys have brought, everyone comes in from different places, brings different experience. We got a bunch of freshmen. We got a bunch of transfers. I think we had more new guys than we did returners, honestly. But we've had a great culture around here ever since I've been here. And like you said earlier, it starts from the top, and even he's new, right? But JJ has always been great. He's always instilled a great culture in us, and he's brought a whole bunch of great things to the table. Also, I mean, even the number 3 that Evan wears, he brought that in, and I think that all the new guys bring something different to the table. But at the end of the day, we have a great culture here, and everyone gelled together really well, and I think that's what it takes to be a really good team. That's baseball. You go to a different locker room all the time, right? You go to play summer ball, you go do whatever. At the end of the day, we're all baseball players. We all want the same thing. So, I think it's been really good having this new group here.
Rob, it's early, but how comfortable do you feel right now with the rotation of the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a lot of time to figure some of this out. You look at the fall. Every time I watch fall, there's somebody in the fall that had an awesome fall. Awesome. That's not gonna have a great spring, and vice versa. There's guys that had terrible falls that are gonna come out and be right in the middle of everything we're doing on both the pitching side and the position player side. You see it every year. We call them fall Americans, right? You have those guys that can do it, but when you step in there in the spring, it's a little bit different, And so I think the thing I really like is I think there's some depth. I think if we were sitting there playing a game today, sure, I know what lineup I would run out there if we played today. The guy to my right would probably be starting game 1 today, right? But that's the beauty, is we've got 3 weeks to kind of put this thing together, and I think that's what you want to figure out. I think there's 13 or 14 position players that are going to be in the mix that you're going to see a lot. The lineup I post opening day is not going to be the lineup we're probably going to run out there for 56 games this year. So even there's going to be 12, 13, 14 guys pretty much in the mix there those first 4 weeks, as we're trying to figure out, not the most talented 9 players, but the best 9 that work together come Tennessee week 4. That's going to be our goal. Same thing on the mound. We might not run the best 3 pitchers out as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be what's going to allow us to go win the SEC, what's going to allow us to prepare ourselves for postseason baseball, what's going to allow us to do those things. And so that's what this preseason is really for, to kind of work through some of that and see what it looks like. But I've done this long enough to know, man, like, I'm going to put somebody in there that I probably shouldn't, and I'm going to not start somebody I probably should, and that's part of coaching. You got to make those adjustments and figure out what the best collective group is, and that's not going to be decided these first 3 weeks. That's going to be decided probably over the next month and a half, 2 months, as we get into SEC play.
For Ben, you kind of mentioned it earlier, I guess for Ben too, just have you seen the returners and the new guys kind of blend together so far?
Yeah, it's been seamless. I mean, the new guys, all the transfers and freshmen come in, and within no time at all, we're all one big team, really. I mean, like I said, everyone brings different stuff to the locker room, different personalities, different skill sets on the field. I think that our coaches, for one, did a great job, bringing guys in that would, fit in the roles that we need them for. But I think, overall, like I said, baseball guys are baseball guys, and we all want to win. So, I think that we're going to be really talented, and, we've got a great culture. That's really what all I can say on it,
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes it can be challenging with a bunch of new guys to, get them to fit, because you can't fake that. But the returners were extremely, open and great, and a lot of the transfers and new guys, we're excited to just be here with this coaching staff, be at this university. It's an awesome place, and it has been really just a seamless transition. And the coaches have been open to listening to returners and listening to new guys, and I think everyone's just starting off at the same place, and everyone really just wants to win, and that's allowed us to mesh so well.
Coach, you're around these guys every day, but what's it mean to you to see them kind of share this vision of we're going to do the best we can for the team? It's not about me, it's about us. How important is that, when you're in January, let alone when you're in April or May and so on?
Yeah, we got a legendary softball coach on campus here, and he talks all the time about taking joy in the success of your teammates. That's one of the big things that he talks about with his softball team. Obviously, we saw him talk to Coach Oates and the basketball team a couple weeks ago. We'll circle him around here and have him talk through some of that as well. But I think that's really where it starts. I think you got a talented group of kids here. We've got more than 9 guys that at a lot of places could start. We've got more than 3 arms that could be weekend starters at a lot of places. We do. And I think where you look at this group and the culture that they've kind of created, like I said, I think as coaches we can help give the vision a little bit. We can help try to instill this kind of stuff. But like Ev said, like Ben said, if it's going to be authentic, if it's going to be real, it's got to come from them. And what I've witnessed from them just sitting back and watching is this group loves to win. This group really wants to win. And with that comes unselfishness. It's not about me pitching at a 1. It's not about me pitching on the weekend. It's not about me hitting in the 3-hole or me doing this. It's, man, we take vicarious joy in the success of our teammates. That's what I really want. And it's great that I want that, but I've watched these guys live that over the last 6 months. Now, as we get into this year, I'm going to put 9 names on a lineup card against Manhattan here in a few weeks. There's going to be one guy starting on the mound on that Friday night, and that's where it gets tested a little bit, right? Like, you don't have everybody playing. It's not a scrimmage where we're hitting 11 and throwing everybody. It's going to start boiling down to, man, do we really believe this, or is this just some cool thing that Coach Murph came and talked about one time? And I believe in these kids. I believe in their makeup. I believe in who they are, and I fully expect them to go out and, man, it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about these 2 next to me. It's about us collectively going out and accomplishing a job and doing some things that haven't been done here since the late 90s. And this group has a chance to knock that door down and do it.
Last question.
Coach, I don't think it'd be a press conference if we didn't ask you about Dylan Vaughn again. Just do you have any plans for him to be out here with you guys?
Yeah, there's been conversations with Dylan over the last year. So obviously I think the stuff across the street's been a lot of changes over the last few weeks, right? And it's been very well documented what those changes are. Dylan right now I think is going to focus on what he's got going in football. He's extremely talented. JJ's seen him pitch and loves him. What that means for him moving forward long term, that's going to be up to Dylan a lot and kind of see where that shakes out. Surely we would love to have him a part of what we're doing, no doubt. I think he's a talented kid, but I think as of right now he's going to kind of focus on what's in front of him, and I think that's a testament to who he is and what he's really earned over the last 6 or 7 months over that football field across the street. So, time will tell kind of how that shakes out. But as of right now, he's not going to be around a ton right now. Like I said, long term, we'll kind of see how that plays out. I'd welcome that kid over here anytime he wants. He's a competitor. He's cold-blooded, and if you can do it over in Bryant-Denny, you can do it at the Joe. So, we'll see kind of how that plays out in the long term.
All right. Thank you, guys.
How's the fun go looking right now? How's the swing going?
Mine?
Yeah.
Elite. Come on, man. It is an elite fungo game. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.